Okay, so I'm outside here, and this video will be on a low light test during the nighttime, of course, with the HERO9 Black, and I will shuffle through a few configurations to see how it performs during the night and which configuration is better for getting the least noise and the more light into the front. So right now it's on 4K 25 with Hypersmooth high and with the ISO set on a range of 100 to 30 to 100, yeah. And right now I can see on the front screen it's actually pretty nice. I have to see on a big screen whether it has any significant noise or not, but yeah, I can see myself, which is important. So let's twist the camera around and pan it to see how much blur we get. Again, this is on Hypersmooth high, so it's not the boost one. It's still significant Hypersmooth, like I'm shaking the camera around, but I will try the next configurations now. So yeah, I'll play some footage now that I'm recording here, and let's roll them. Okay, this is 4K 25 with Hypersmooth high and with an ISO range of 100 to 6400. So the maximum range that for ISO that there is, and the rest is set to auto, so white balance auto, and yeah, the other settings. I'll display the settings in the screen anyway. But yeah, as far as I can see on the screen, it should be really noisy. But I mean, that's what such a high ISO gives you, really noisy image, but bright, and you can see stuff. So if I point at my dog, I can see her. If I point at the street, I can see everything. Okay, let's switch to another configuration now. Okay, same configuration as last time, but this time I changed the ISO to 3200, and as you can see now it's pretty dark. If I point at the light, and now it's bright, of course, if I'm near the light, but I still find this mode to be dark. Yeah, let's switch to 1600 and see how much noise we can reduce, but also how much light enters into the sensor now. Wait, 1600 now. Yeah, if I try to walk, and if I try to yeah, now I'm walking, I mean I'm running now. Let's see how much noise we can get. Okay, so that's there, and yeah, now let's switch to 800. Now 800 should be like pretty much pitch dark unless I go under the street lamp there. Okay, ISO 800, and well, I mean it's not entirely bad. Yeah, I mean if I point at the light, yeah, I can see it, but the rest it's dark. Yeah, I mean it's during the night, of course, so yeah, now let's switch to 5K and see if that results anything. Okay, this is 5K with Hypersmooth on in wide mode, and yeah, the ISO max is 3200, and I will downscale this 5K to a 4K timeline. That way I can export everything in 4K. Yeah, but at 3200 it should do relatively well. Okay, now this is the max Hypersmooth mode on 3200 ISO. I mean, not max Hypersmooth, I meant max lens mode. I have the lens placed into my camera, and all the values are like pretty much default. So max horizon on, max Hypersmooth on, and yeah, I think this might be the best configuration for night, as long as the noise isn't too bad. But yeah, this is 3200. which is I mean it isn't bad. Now I'll do other configurations on this max lens mode. Another thing, I will run and shake the camera to see how much noise and blur there is. Okay, this is 1600. Yeah, should be less noise, but less light inside. So let's try it out. Now this is ISO 800 on max lens mode. Here's a light, but as soon as I run away from the light, yeah, it's dark. Just for fun, here's 6400, which is the max ISO you can get. And it should be pretty noisy on this max lens mode, and with other blur as well. I'm moving the camera around. I can't really see on the screen all the noise. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't know why anyone will use 6400, but yeah, here you have the comparison if you want it. Now I'll try some normal lens mode, like I don't know, the non-max lens mode, but this time with Hypersmooth boost instead of Hypersmooth high. That way we can see exactly how much blur and yeah, noise and everything this boost mode applies compared to the Hypersmooth high mode. And just for good measure, here's Hypersmooth boost on 4K25 with 3200 max ISO. So yeah, if I run, yeah, that's 3200 with Hypersmooth boost. Now let's switch to the lower step, 1600. Yeah, 1600 ISO and Hypersmooth boost should of course yield a bit less noise than 3200, but I'm wondering if Hypersmooth boost compared to Hypersmooth high does affect how much noise and blur there is. So yeah, that part is of course lit, and this one as well, but as soon as I point into that wall, because it doesn't have enough light, you can't really see it. Now let's switch just for good measure for the 800 max ISO mode. Okay, 800 ISO. Just hoping for some less noise reduction. Here's literally under the light. But otherwise you cannot see anything. And I am noticing that the stabilization works. I mean, just from seeing it on the screen, it works well. I thought GoPro would knock down the sort of how much the stabilization was applied when it detected that it had low light, but I'm not noticing that. I'm twisting the camera around this lamppost here, and it doesn't seem to apply anything. So yeah, that's the test. I'll also throw in some pictures that I took with the night photo mode, because they're really nice. But yeah, this is how the GoPro Hero 9 performs on all these different modes, and I hope it clears some doubts about if you should get this camera or not. I've seen some people discuss that the Insta360 One R is a much better choice than the Hero 9 because of the 1-inch sensor. I've seen some footage from side by side. It doesn't really make such a big difference. All action cameras really are bad for low light anyway. And yeah, I'll also throw in some footage that I shot on, I think, on the release day of this camera at dawn, but on 5K, and the reaction was actually quite positive. But yeah, once we really hit the night, like right now, yeah, that's when the camera begins to really struggle.